I need to thank my mom for getting arrested at my job interview. When I was 10, my mom marched onto the playground and pushed a kid off a swing after he cut in line and took my spot. She later grabbed his arm while he sobbed and made him apologize in front of everyone, and I just stood there watching. I mean, I thought it was normal. Mom had always been involved, but around middle school, I quickly figured out that the things she did were a little more extreme. That day, I came home with a B on a science project she had helped me with. She was furious. She called my teacher and spent 40 minutes arguing until my teacher gave up and turned it into an A just to get her off the phone. High school was even worse. She completely edited a college application essay that one of my teachers said was already perfect and ended up getting me waitlisted. And it wasn't just school either. When my mom found out I had a crush on a boy, she found his parents on social media and asked them to set up a date. They were instantly creeped out and tried to politely tell her no, but that was a mistake. You see, no was the word she hated the most. She stretched her fingers and took a deep, angry breath before proceeding to hurl insults into their chat until they had no choice but to block her just to make her stop. The rumor about my crazy mom took over the entire school, and for the rest of the year, people were scared to even talk to me, even my friends. But now that I graduated college and started job hunting like a real adult, I thought maybe she'd cool down and give me space. But I was so wrong. She found my resume on my laptop and changed everything. She bragged about herself in the reference section, added skills and experiences I didn't have, even replaced the email and phone number to hers. I only found out when one company emailed her instead of me. When I confronted her, she said, I was just polishing it. But some of the things she had edited actually made me sound like a terrible person instead. The worst part was when she started harassing the HR departments of the companies I'd applied to. One recruiter actually told me during a phone screen that my mother had called twice that week. I didn't get a second interview. She scared off 2 internship opportunities the same way, calling supervisors to follow up on my behalf, sending additional materials they didn't ask for, basically hovering so aggressively that they assumed I couldn't function independently. I begged her to stop, but called me ungrateful. I just felt bad knowing that nobody wants you, she told me. But she backed away after that and actually let me do things on my own. And finally, I got an interview for my dream position. The salary was great, the benefits were even better, and there was plenty of room for growth. I decided not to tell my mom about it. The morning of the interview, I told my mom I was meeting a friend for coffee before driving straight to the office building. The interview had just started, and it seemed to be going great. Olivia, the current marketing director, was funny and very professional. It seems like you'd really be a great fit for the team and company, she started saying when the doors to her office suddenly opened and my mom walked in. She didn't even knock. She just sat down in the empty chair beside me and explained that she wanted to be there to support me and make sure I presented myself properly. She turned to Olivia and smiled sweetly. Don't mind me, just continue. Olivia looked confused and tried to continue it professionally. She continued where we'd left off and asked me about my previous marketing experience. Before I could answer, my mom cut in. She complained that the question was too vague and told me not to answer. Olivia looked at me with wide eyes while I stared back with an apologetic look. Her jaw clenched. She tried redirecting the question back to me, but my mom kept interrupting, correcting my answers, adding details that weren't even true. She even called Olivia's questions basic and uninspired, how she expected more from a director-level position. Then she turned to me and started asking me difficult interview questions, only to get angry when I couldn't answer. That's when I had it. I was done. I interrupted my mom mid-question and told her to leave. Her face turned red with rage. How dare you speak to your mother like this? You're clearly not ready for this job if you can't handle a simple interview, she shouted, as if she were the one in charge of hiring me. Olivia stood up and pointed at the door. You're the one who's being rude. Before you stepped in, I was already practically handing your daughter a job offer before you stepped into this room and started running your mouth and taking over. But this ends here. I'm the director, and you're no longer welcomed here, Olivia called in security. My mom gripped the doorframe, screeching about discrimination and abuse as they dragged her out. The arrest gave Olivia the full picture of what I'd been dealing with. She offered me the job and said anyone who could stay composed through that deserved a chance. She even helped me find temporary housing. So for 3 months, my life was exactly what I'd always dreamed it would be. I worked hard, made real friends, built my career without anyone interfering, but then came the court date for her trespassing charges. I thought it would be simple, just a formality, until mom's lawyer stood up and presented her evidence against me. Full story on channel linked below.